Okay! Let me make sure that this is actually centered on my fucking screen. On the thing. Okay, it is. Um, so. This is a game that it's a very rudimentary, goofy little fucking game that I made on Scratch. I don't know my cacodemon. Is he okay? This doesn't seem correct. I thought it was supposed to be. He's probably okay. Sorry. Um, I made this game over the course of like on and off development, like mess with it for 2 weeks, ignore it for a few fucking months. um, since I was in fucking I think freshman year of high school. So it's been about 4 or 5 years. Um, but don't expect that to mean that it's like a quality game. It's just a fun little Ultimate Custom Night like parody or knockoff. I don't know. I would like to think it functions pretty well. I guarantee you that in this video and any more that I might do, there are going to be things that I see that I either might fix in the video or after it. Oh, Casanova, little stinker. Because like literally, the moment I finished the release version and put it out, I noticed that this screen right here, this title screen, didn't go away. You could you could hit the launch button, but it didn't go away, and you couldn't click on anything because it wouldn't vanish. So that was silly. That was a silly little goose thing. Um, what else? There was something else. I think there was like a couple characters that still had like placeholder visuals. I mean, nothing in this game looks finished. It's all programmer art. It's me messing around in this Scratch's own version of MS Paint. Hence the fucking troll face looking motherfucker right here. Um, so don't expect anything here to be pretty, but I think it's genuinely a fun game, and I kind of just want to show it off because it's something that I've been working on for a long while, and even though it is as mediocre as it is, it's also the first thing I've ever done, first game I've ever like finished. It's also on Scratch. It's made by somebody who has no real programming experience. This was kind of my first foray into that field, and I want to continue with it and make, for one, a remake of this game with like an actual like visual artist helping me out. So that the game looks decent, and just put it in like a UE4 or ClickTeam or something. So yeah, I'm just gonna hop in. So immediately right off the bat, oh wait, you can access Glue Factory? Yeah, okay. I forgot some things. So there's already a lot of things here to talk about. For one, look at all the goofy ass art, quote unquote art. Amogus, we got Amogus here. You got some characters that I was too lazy to actually like draw their heads, so I just made them fill up the entire 7x7 box that I used as a template for their mugshots here. I mean, for a few of them it makes sense, like the cakes, because when you see them in game, they're literally just squares. But yeah, some of them are doodles. Some of them literally just don't fit in with the rest of the art. Like they look like they're drawn by an entirely different person with much different brush size. These challenges here also all reference games that haven't been made yet. This one's funny. You also don't have access to every challenge right off the bat. You have to get a score of, I think it's 4,000 in order to have access to a few higher level challenges that aren't literally 60-20 mode. 12,000 score. As you can see, there's no scale as to what like level they're at. It's either they're on or they're off. And they give 200 points per, just like in something like Ultimate Custom Night. Yeah. Basically, this game, or this series as a whole, I had in my head since, I think, literally 4th grade, or whenever the first Five Nights at Freddy's came out. There's so many stories I could tell about this series and how it's evolved over the years. During my intermittent phases of enjoying Five Nights at Freddy's. The only characters that I initially had were these three and a slug. I had a horse, a robin, a pig, and a slug. And the Paul here was originally named Peter until the game Those Nights at Rachel's by Nixon came out. And there was a pig in that game named Pete. So I didn't want to seem like I was ripping him off. So I changed his name to Paul. And I actually prefer the name Paul generally now because it's just been his name for a longer amount of time at this point. And just as the games progressed, I just added more characters. When FNAF 2 came out, it was, okay, let's add the new guys and the withered guys. When FNAF 3 came out, it was, okay, let's add some weird, like, phantom guys. But no, they're burnt. They're just green because they just turned that way. And the endoskeleton guys, so we can bring back the guys from the first 2 games. Yeah. And there's the nightmares. And also Vicky. Vicky was a concept for... Vicky was like an offshoot of the slug character. That I was just like, you know what? I like this like design where it was just a huge slug with like wheels on the very bottom that would barely stick out so it can move around. I was like, you know what? I like that design. Let's thin it down and turn it into a snake instead. And I didn't end up going with that really, so I just kind of threw it into the 4th game, or the concept for the 4th game. I do actually have full functional concepts for every game that haven't obviously been done yet. So every character has their own mechanics in those games, and their own place in those games that just don't exist yet. This is the only functional game that most of these characters have been in. Like, I think I made the first game on Scratch, but it was awful and barely functioned. I just messed with it a little bit ago. It's barely even a video game. And most of these guys were there. Most of these guys from the TSaH 1 challenge. TSaH stands for 10 Shifts at Happy's, by the way. I wanted to shake up the series by making it 10 nights instead of 5. Which, realistically, is just kind of worse than 5, because in 5 nights, the nights scale very quickly. They get very hard very quickly, which is kind of half the fun. It's like, every single night has some new crazy shit that happens, and or spikes the difficulty so much that it's always a challenge and always really satisfying to progress. With 10 nights, I don't think that's really gonna be a thing, but I'm gonna do my best, if and when when I get to making this an actual functional series. What else is there to really talk about? There's like one character I have in the current version of like my like view for the series. There's one character that isn't in the game, but he's also part of Happy's mechanic. So that's fine, in my opinion. It's fine. Rigger has a different font here, because I fucking did that on accident and forgot to change it. Literally only noticed it right before I released the game and couldn't be asked. And yeah, not even gonna talk about the elephant in the room here, or the fact that this guy is, that was a complete accident. He's supposed to be based off the fact that he's the endoskeleton of Rigby, so he's gonna be a spooky name. So I did that, and I regret it immensely. Um, this guy, Pink Donnie, he was the same friend who called me out for having Peter the Pig. He came up with his own idea for a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, where it would be Five Nights at Donnie's with Donnie the dinosaur, who didn't look even remotely like a dinosaur. He was just kind of this dude, just kind of a guy. So I was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we had like a crossover in like the fourth or fifth game or something? So in my idea for the fifth game, which would of course be like Sister Location and have its own custom night with characters, these 5 characters who aren't in anything else or important to the lore at all, because of course there's lore. Just like in Sister Location, it's just some characters that didn't exist before, were just kind of thrown in for the sake of it, just being silly. And Pink Donnie would be one of them. It's just Donnie, but he's pink, because I think the original was green. Is there anything else that I really want to talk about before going into the gameplay? You might notice that there's no way to, like, tell how to do anything. Like, there's no controls listed. This is read the instructions. If you won't be able to see it because of the way I cropped the screen. I'm actually in full screen on Scratch right now. You can close the full screen, and there's an instructions menu that tells you that's where I wrote down all the controls. And that's initially also where I wrote character bios until I hit the character limit, like literal like typeface characters. I hit the character limit in that menu box. So what I did was you can hold J. I wrote that down in the instructions menu. You can hold J, and you'll open up this a little menu that changes depending on who you're looking at. That tells you what everyone does. So what I think I'm going to do is try and do all the challenges one by one by one. The only challenges I've done and have proven to be 1000% possible are this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. No, I also did one that's hidden right now. Some of them are just kind of ludicrous. For instance, one of the ones that we don't have right now is top half and bottom half. I beat top half, where it's the top 30 characters, and bottom half is the bottom 30 characters. And let me tell you right fucking now, I'm not sure I'm going to be doing that on camera. Because the top half challenge took me literally like 2 goddamn hours to beat. And I'm the one that made the game. So I don't even know what the fuck. I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think that's going to happen on camera. Not that anyone really cares. This is just a game that I made mostly for myself, just to mess around with, because I love the mechanics of Five Nights at Freddy's games. So I was like, I'm always coming up with mechanics. Why don't I just make a game so that I can mess around with those mechanics? Even if no one else likes it, who cares? It's my thing. So I did that. And probably just self-serving, I'm gonna do some of the challenges. Just like Five Nights at Wario's, I'm not sure if I'm going to fully go through with this. I do still plan on doing Five Nights at Wario's. I'm just on a bit of a break because the second game was super boring. Anyway, let's do the first challenge. There is actually a little bit of a fuck up where if I like turn on some characters and then hit the challenge, those characters are still on and add to the score. But like, I'll still get the credit for this challenge, but there's just also some extra characters there. You can also click on a character and then turn on the challenge, which will turn them off, and you won't get credit for the challenge that way. So I'm essentially doing a practice run if I were to do this right now. But I'm not going to do that. I have that at the very top of the instructions. Make sure no one else is on when you hit a challenge, when you do a challenge. I am almost definitely going to do some updates to this game to polish it a bit more. And that's one of the things that I'm going to fix, is I'm just going to like completely rewrite how challenges are like counted. Because that is a bit dumb. and the fact that you can, like, turn people on and off before you hit a challenge. You can't do it while one's active. But when the challenge is off, you can fuck around with things, and then turning on the challenge won't, like, reset everything first. It'll just toggle. So now I'm, like, playing half the challenge and won't get credit for it. Anyway, let's start off with the very first challenge. All these characters have their own mechanics. I think in this challenge specifically, literally none of these characters function identically to one another. So let's, excuse me, let's go through them all. Happy's doll sometimes gets upset, squeaking to alert you. Click on it repeatedly to soothe it and prevent him from killing you. There's a doll on the floor in front of you. You can turn around in-game. There's a doll on the floor, and you click it a bunch when it gets upset, and it'll soothe it. It's that simple. Take too long and it kills you. Richie will sometimes advertise Joe's Diner with flashy announcements that cannot be avoided. Do your best to ignore them. Essentially, Richie is Funtime Chica from Ultimate Custom Night. This is like a really dumb inside joke from when another one of my friends, who does have his own Twitch page, Philly McCheesesteak, follow him, he drew one of my characters. He drew Richie wearing like a magic hat, and it just said "Eat it, Joe's," and all the rest is history. It was just this really silly drawing that he did that was an inside joke between us for the longest time. So he's in the game. He does that. Paul, sometimes oink, indicating he's at your right door. When he does this, close it on him, but be sure to open it back up after, or he'll slam into it and drain some coins in power. This mechanic is sort of based off of the original from Tubbyland 3, where you have to open the door and let him in. Except in this case, you have to let him hit the door first, then open and let him in. Otherwise, he'll just straight up kill you. Barry, he gets irritated when he's not being looked at. Be sure to not look away for too long, or he'll strike. It's as simple as keep your camera down and look at him, because he's in front of you just like the toy. Just keep your camera down, don't look behind you, or don't, like, look away from him for too long. Connie, she's really fucking annoying. She's the music box. It's that simple. She's a music box. This game doesn't have any form of global music box, so you actually have to lift your camera up and wind it. So there's no stalling in this game. There's nothing like that. I kind of wanted to add stalling because I think it's a fun mechanic, personally. I know a lot of people don't like it. I think it adds a lot to just strategy and learning the game, or learning what can be done with the game. But stalling simply does not exist in this game. And you can't camera stall her. You can't do anything with mechanisms, which is what I call them, the heater, the power AC, and the power dampener. Mechanisms don't do anything to her. You have to wind her. Old Happy. This one's weird. Once the night reaches its halfway point, Old Happy will begin to attack every hour on the dot. If either door is closed at that time, either the front vent or the right door, he will cause some nasty negative effects, increasing both your noise and your usage. If both doors are closed, he just kills you. Old Paul. His hat appears on the ground. As it becomes more and more opaque, turn the AC on to prevent him from attacking. The AC doesn't have to remain on, I believe, or no, I reworked this mechanic. Initially, all you had to do was toggle the AC. That was it. You could already have the AC on. All you have to do is press the 2 button and turn it off, and that would count as attacking him or defending him, and it would reset him. Now, I think the AC actually has to be on, and it will slowly send him away. Switch will appear at the right door at any time with a loud squeak. Close the door on him to keep him away. He's essentially like Nightmare or Nightmare Fredbear from UCN. Just close the door, he'll go away. Henry. Once per night, it's completely random. Henry will make a loud, distracting sound for quite a while. There's no way to prevent it. It's kind of like Afton, except instead of him being a threat, he's just really, really irritating and distracting. He used to be exceptionally quiet, then I made it way too loud, so now it's in hopefully a happy medium where it doesn't overshadow everything in the game, but it still is enough of a distraction to have an effect. Betty, keep it quiet. If your noise gets above, I think, 4, if your noise level gets above 4, I think, for just a couple seconds, she will instantaneously kill you. And with the power dampener, which I think puts your noise up to a minimum of 3, and Vicky, who actually increases your noise level over time, Betty can become an actual threat, which you really don't want. There are a few other characters that can increase your noise, but noise in general is not nearly as much of an issue as it is in Ultimate Custom Night. You don't really have to worry about it. Really, the only problems with that can cause noise are Betty, Rigby 2, and Vicky. There are other characters that can cause noise, but they just generally don't make enough of an impact to be threatening. Betty is essentially just if you're already fucking everything up, then she'll kill you, but it's kind of hard to get to that point. Rigby, that's a very long thing. I'll just give you the rundown. The temperature normally goes up at kind of a slow rate. When Rigby's active, it goes up a little faster. But he also, being active, gives you a bit of an out. Or if you have, I think it's 3 coins? 5 coins. If you have 5 coins, you can click on him, pay him 5 coins, and he will crank the AC all the way back down to 60. So he's kind of a risk-reward thing, where he can give you just a complete out and lower the temperature to an insanely low degree, just instantaneously, without you having to use the power AC, because there's no fan in this game either. But he also cranks the AC, or the temperature, up, which not only can the temperature, I think, straight up kill you at 140 degrees, I believe it is, but this character, Nightmare Happy, when he's on, he kills you at 100. So you need to be very, very, very attentive with the heat. Null. Null is essentially like a reverse Golden Freddy. When you pull your camera up, he might be on the camera. And if he is, throw it down. That simple. So that's really it. None of these characters particularly combo with one another. It's just kind of a bunch of random shit, that's the negative about just doing a bunch of characters with a theme between them, but not a theme between how they act, which is what all these challenges are. So a lot of them will either directly contradict one another and be very difficult to handle, or just like this, it's just a bunch of sporadic shit. Because right now, there's nothing that goes to the top vent. There's nothing that goes to the left door. There's nothing that shows up behind me. It's just, I need to watch the right door, wind the box, turn on the AC, and click the happy. That's the entire night, really. So let's finally get into some gameplay. And, here goes. As you can see, game looks like shit. And there's Henry! I'm gonna turn the audio down a bit. These are supposed to be white. Those are supposed to be white. What did I do? Yeah, you can't click on the cameras in this game, because I was too stupid to figure that out initially. What you do is you press... Give me a moment. You press the number keys, from 4 to 0. What the fuck was that? Oh my god. You press the number keys from 4 to 0. Oh god, I think I know what I did. Shit. Yeah, no. No, this is... okay. You're not going to be able to see this very well, but I'm just going to real quick. I know exactly what's causing that. Oh, he doesn't have that. Okay, so I'm just gonna get rid of that code, like, entirely. There we go. Don't worry about it. I just fixed something. So that you were seeing this sprite show up on camera 9, I think it was. I just made it so he doesn't show up there at all. I was apparently going to make him sit there, but it was just kind of useless, so I just got rid of it. That simple. So yeah, as I was saying, you can hit... Oh. I wasn't looking at the screen. That's... Jesus Christ. That's another thing. I wanted to make it show you what character killed you, in case you were unaware. And a lot of characters, I forgot to do that. Set killed by to null. There we go. I told you we were going to see shit that I needed to fix. I didn't have any playtesters. Anyway, you can hit buttons 4 through 9, or 4 through 0, and O and P to look through the different cameras. For a second, I forgot about him. I love that. If it wasn't obvious, I used the like enemy spotted or like enemy has seen you sound from One Night at Flumpty's 2, I want to say? Yeah, 2. That was just bad luck that he showed up 2 times in a row there. This game also goes to 8 a.m. Oh wait, shit. That made me jump. I made this. This game goes to 8 a.m., but the nights themselves are actually only 5 minutes long, so don't worry about that. I didn't pull a FNAF 1 through 4 and make the nights fucking ages long. If you click on him when you don't have any money, he instantaneously kills you, so... Oh, wait, it drops down to 55? I thought it was 60. 60 is the lowest you can get with the power AC. those lag spikes are because I am currently still in the editor, technically. I didn't hit like a certain button to go back to playing the game as if I wasn't the developer. Um, so I'm still technically playing this in like a preview mode / the editor. So whenever I double click a sprite, that lag spike is the game moving over to that sprite's code if I wanted to modify it. It still does that even in full screen for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's a little dumb. Ooh. Yay! Yay! I put in Remory's game audio could actually be used to... Yeah, game audio could go down there. I used Remory's remix of the Ultimate Custom Night High Score song, because I just think it's really good. If this were obviously if this were a commercial project, I wouldn't have used that. But I don't know. Just figured it was fitting. Obviously, there's a bunch of other FNAF music in here. But yeah, not only did I get the high score for that, but I also got 1 star. Every challenge is worth 1 star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8. There's 9. And then there's... What? 10, 11, I think. No, shit. The hell? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's down to here. 7. Top half. Bottom half. Glue Factory. 1 and 2. Okay, yeah, because the Glue Factory is a secret star, quote unquote. Getting every challenge gives you 1 extra star, and I don't think that star does anything. But whatever. Sorry, I got myself confused there. I'm going to quickly move back off the editor, so now I won't accidentally double click something and go to the Nether realm. I'm also going to actually go right back into the editor and fix the effects being black. Set brightness. No, set brightness effect to 0. That simple. Now it's done. Gotta wait for the save to finish. Because with the size of this game, even though it's, it's a fucking Scratch game and all the sprites are like 2 kilobytes, there's just so much fucking code in this, and Scratch is so rudimentary that it seriously takes like 20 seconds to save. There we go. I have to hit that button and then go full screen, and now I'm not going to be going to the Nether realm. Now, second game. Null is still here, because that was just like the plan. He's supposed to be in the first and second game. New Happy. He'll show up intermittently in the office. Turn on the smog machine, which was the camera thing, the camera looking thing at the bottom. That isn't the camera button. You hit S to open the cameras. Clicking on that thing causes the smog machine to show up. Turn on the smog machine for a while to send him away before he decides to end your run. New Connie... I love this one. New Connie will occasionally put up a sticky note on your screen as a distraction. There's no way to stop her. When 2 beady red eyes show up at your window, turn around to prevent her attack. When 2 pink eyes show up at your window, do your best to avoid letting your flashlight touch them. When a pair of blue eyes show up at your window, shine your flashlight on them to blind him and send him running for the hills. These 3 are pretty simple. They all act relatively similarly. Mandy, you just don't want to shine your flashlight on. Blue, you do, and Silly, you turn around. Withered Happy will sometimes show up in the main office. Use the smog machine to send him away. Obviously, we're now getting some duplicates, but most of these characters are either functionally unique or somewhat different enough to not be literally identical. Like, New Happy shows up more often but goes away faster. Withered Happy shows up less often and goes away slower. These two, they show up, they cause things to show up in certain rooms, either a large pink splotch or a poster, signaled by a static noise. These two fucked me up so hard when I was doing the top half challenge. Essentially, they'll show up in certain cameras, or just any camera, and what you do is when you hear them show up, you go to that room and hit the alarm button, which is Q, hit the alarm button to send them away. Withered Berry will make a loud noise indicating he's in your vent. Shut it on him to send him away. The vent sprite actually is Withered Berry. Like, the vent itself is him. It's kind of hard to explain. Like, the way it's coded is literally he is used for two things. He is used both to kill you, if you don't shut it on him fast enough, and he's also used literally as the fucking vent. Like, if I were to delete Withered Berry from the game, the vent would cease to exist. Withered Connie will sometimes run up to your room, signaled by her heavy footsteps. Turn on the smog machine to send her away. Yeah, I think you pretty much... She acts very similarly to New Happy and Withered Happy, except you get almost no time to send her away. Like, it's really short. So you pretty much have to have it on when she's coming into your room. Show up on the left side of your screen, increasing your noise and usage until you click on him to repel him. That one's relatively simple. This whole challenge is simple, pretty much. You don't need to go on the cameras for anything outside of these two. You just react to Withered Berry and the window guys. You react to the people who run into your room, and you deal with the guys on the cameras. So let's do that. See, now they're white. These are yellow, and these are red. That was one of them. Them's fighting voids. What? Where? Where? This is bad. I could have sworn. Huh. That noise. Huh. Those two noises. Those two noises were the, I might be fucked. Ah, there he is. Is that her showing up? It's a credit card number. That is her, okay. I don't remember if she actually has like a bit of a grace period where once she gets into your room, you're still okay. Like for just a split second. Or if you literally do need to have it on the moment she enters. Hell yeah. And that's what plays if you don't get a high score. For instance, that time we got literally the exact same as our high score. And the Cloud high score is the highest score of anyone who's played the game. Obviously, since no one cares enough, no one got a high score before me, which is why it was zeros across the board. The third game. This one is actually going to be a bit of a challenge. Mostly because you just with how many of the characters here do the same thing, you pretty much need to be spamming the alarm like almost the entire night, which is really bad for your power because using the alarm uses a bit of power. Um, so yeah, let's go over these guys. Skinless Happy, they say Endo, but I prefer to call them skinless characters. I only call them Endo because it takes up less room. Skinless Happy will appear in your office, blocking your vision until you turn the heater on for a few seconds. Oh god, look at the heater. Look at the word on. I'm so bad at this. Pay up 2 coins every now and then. If you can't, use the heater stall. He's basically like Funtime, or not Funtime, Rockstar Freddy, where he will require you to give him coins, except in this case, he doesn't let you know. You need to turn around and check him, and pretty much give him a constant stream of coins throughout the night. Uh, this night in particular, oh god, is there actually anything that gives you coins? Oh, holy shit, there might not be. I don't think there's anything that gives you coins on this night. Let me make sure. Yeah, accidentally. Skinless Berry is like the first one of these, which is why everyone redirects to Skinless Berry. She slowly appears in the left door every time you look away. There is no way to slow her advance. Every time you turn around or open your cameras. Skinless Berry. Barry on the bathroom camera will approach the manhole cover and attempt to use it to reach the office. Use the alarm when he's closest to send him away. There is actually a bit of audio that you can use to hear when any of these 4 characters get to a manhole cover. However, because there's 4 of them, and they have like a slightly random amount of time that it takes for them to get to a manhole, they're going to be constantly like staggered and showing up essentially randomly at a really fast rate. So having all 4 of these, especially when you're dealing with everything from the past 2 nights as well on the top half challenge, you pretty much just have to spam. You have to just rapidly press the Q button and lay on that alarm. Otherwise, they're just going to keep getting closer. And someone's going to show up behind you. Because when they go through the manhole cover, they don't instantaneously kill you. They show up behind you, which will like essentially let you know, hey, dude, you're fucked. before, after a few seconds, they'll kill you. And then the three characters that aren't in the top half challenge, but are in this challenge. Burnt Mandy appears in the back window. Flash your light directly on her eye to send her away. She gets faster as the building gets colder. He acts just like Burnt Mandy, but he gets faster as the building gets hotter. I think overall, when you keep the building cold, you'll get less attacks in general. Like Burnt Blue moves faster, but like, oh my god. Overall, between the two of them, keeping the building cold is generally better than keeping it hot. That's really it. Purchase the front vent with the sound, shut the vent to prevent an attack. Okay. He's just like Withered Berry, except different noises, I think. And he does give you coins, so you can like just barely keep Endo Richie happy. You can also actually use the heater, just like Rockstar Freddy. So even if there wasn't a coin producer, I could technically deal with him. It would just be very annoying, considering I'm also trying to keep it cold so that the entire fucking game doesn't end. Okay, let's start. I need to... Alarm. Alarm. Don't turn around rapidly. Only turn around if these two show up. Oh, God. Oh, God, I pretty much need to, like, just stay turned around. Because Barry won't... Yeah, okay. I think I can just do this. Because you don't need to be facing in front of you to use the doors. That's quiet. Every one of those odd, almost whirring noises is, one of them. So it's 4507. What? I can't change the cameras anymore. There we go. Yeah, for some reason I don't think he shows up properly. I need to fix that. Oh god, look at the power. That would be why I had the fucking thing down. It's 2-1. Oh, this is bad. This is real bad. I'm gonna wait just a moment. There we go. 2-1. I don't need to bother with him. He doesn't actually attack me. Yes. Yes. Get fucked. That was entirely on me. That was entirely on me that almost went bad. I kept the fucking... See, that's the problem with the fact that I wasn't, like, turning around ever. Is, I kept the front vent closed for almost the entire night. So I just used up all my power. Almost all of it. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it there for this one. I'm pretty much immediately after I fix the issue with Burnt Happy not showing up on the cameras. I'm gonna fix that off camera real quick, and then immediately record another one of probably challenges 4, 5, and 6. So I'll see you then.